Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
Okay, so now this is about different instance settings, image networking, then CloudWatch monitoring we have seen. Image, I will show you what is the use of making an image and snapshots and volumes. So that I'm going to show in the next labs. So any questions on this? So EC2 service will enable you to create an instance, either Linux or Windows, with the two options of storage. One is the EBS storage, other is the instance store. Both are block storages. EBS is a network attached storage, and uh, instance store is, you can compare it as a directly attached storage. When your instance is in the stop state, the data on the instance store is deleted, okay? Which is not the case with EBS.
By default, if we are creating an instance, is it EBS or instance type?
See, what happens is, I will just show you. So when you actually select the instance type, that time it will show you what kind of storage you can attach it. So here, if you go for the T2 micro, it will be EBS only. Okay, but if I scroll down, you will see this particular M5A AD large. Now here it is mentioned that 1 into 75, and this is 75 GB, which is solid state drive. So this is nothing but an instance store. Okay, so instance store will come built with this server. Okay, with this EC2 instance. So if I select this, for example, uh, don't do that. This is for demo purposes. So here, if I go in the add storage part, now the root disk is a EBS disk. Okay, but the ephemeral disk, now it will clearly mention this as a ephemeral disk, and I don't have any control on this size. This is predefined 75 GB. Okay, so to answer your question, when you create an instance, that time you have a chance of selecting this instance store. Now if I go ahead, now here I can only select EBS. I cannot add another ephemeral disk.
So if I want to create instance type, I have to select in instance family only.
Yeah,
Is it?
right. Instance
Okay.
type you cannot create. Those are defined types. So you'll have to select
Okay.
from one of them.
Okay, got it. I have one more question. So,
Mhm.
uh, so one web server is running. Okay. So I want the same snapshot of that web server, like same type of web server replica of that. So without downtime,
Mhm.
can we create that?
Yeah, we can create that. We'll discuss that. We can create
Okay.
that, but there is, if the server is getting updated constantly, there are writes happening, then you
Okay.
may end up in getting inconsistent data. So better
Okay.
is to reboot it once so that you will get consistent data. We will discuss that. I will discuss that
Okay. Sure.
in the creating image section.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Thank you.
So, Srikanth, one thing, like while creating the EC2, right? We didn't select any kind of reserved instance, right? But I could see in the
No.
description, like, okay, there is a default got created. So is it something default which comes with the EC2 instance?
No, where are you seeing this?
In the description, or like when you select
Description.
down.
Okay. Okay. Which one you are saying? Where you see result?
Yeah, so scroll down again. So this reservation, right? This particular instance name.
That is different. That is related to reservation. Is ID is used to launch the instance. This is an internal thing. Nothing to do with the
Okay.
wizard instance.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any other question? Fine. So yeah, so that is about EC2 Linux instance. So in the next exercise, what we are going to do, first you need to go ahead and terminate your instances, go to action and terminate. And in the next exercise, we will be creating a Windows instance, and I'll show you how to connect it, and then some other concepts will be covered. Okay. So first of all, go to your instance, go to actions, go to instance state, and terminate it. Please go ahead and do that, all of you. Yeah, to test new Madhu, please go ahead and terminate. Ashok, if you are done the exercise. Yeah, this server belongs to whom? Test new. Anil, please go ahead and terminate your instances.
Yep. Will it not be used for other activities?
So currently we don't need it. Whenever we require it, we will. It doesn't take time. Once you
Great.
are used to it. Okay. So shall I delete this? What is the name? Nainar.
Yeah, I've nominated. It is
Yeah, fine.
loading.
I think it is not reflected.
Yeah.
Fine. And Ashok is also.
Yeah, I'm doing it now, Srikanth.
Okay. Fine. So next exercise, what we are going to do, we'll be creating a Windows instance, and then we'll connect to it with RDP. Okay, and then we'll discuss about adding additional volumes and taking snapshots, etc. So let me create a Windows instance. So I'm going to select a particular AMI. So that will be Windows 2012 R2 base. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. So I just searched here, and you have this Microsoft Windows Server 2012 R2 base. So let me select that. Those who are not speaking, please go on mute. There is echo. T2 micro. Configure instance. So I'm not going to change anything in this. I'm just going by default. So if I go to add storage, now you will see that it is 30 GB storage, because Windows requires a little bit of more storage here. Then add tags. So I'll just name it as Srikanth Win, and configure security group. I will just name it as Windows, and next comment also I will say Windows. Review. Now here we will get some warning, because basically the security group is open. So I've kept it purposely. Anybody can RDP to this. So that's warning. So that is how we want. So just ignore this. And now launch. So now you have already created a key pair. So there is no need to create it again. You can use the existing key pair. So the name I have given is August 10. August 10. And it will ask you to acknowledge that you already have the key. And I'll say now. And let me just view the instances. So I'll just filter it out with view. So it is running. Now, how do we log in into this? So usually Windows servers will take couple of minutes to generate the password. So now if I go to connect, so there is a RDP file you can download, and there is a get password button here. Okay, so if I click that, so it will say password is not yet available. It takes some time. It may take up to 4 minutes to generate the password. So to generate the password, basically you need to upload the PEM file, and from the PEM file it will create a password and give it to you. So that is the password for the administrator account. Okay. So let me just try that. Okay, now this is ready. So it will give you the key name. Now remember here, .pem file has to be uploaded. Okay, not the .ppk file. So choose name. So here we go to the downloads. So this is my PM file. And just upload it here. And then it will say decrypt password. So decrypt password. So this is the password. I will just copy it and keep it. Let me just download this file. Let me run that. There we go. Okay, so this is my password for the administrator. And just cut paste it. Okay, I'm just configuring the first time. Okay, so this is my Windows server sitting in North Virginia, and I'm accessing it. Fine. So can you do this activity and let me know if you face any problems? So just create Windows 2012 R2 base. So in the AMI, you just search for this and let's create this server.
So Srikanth, one doubt. So
Mhm.
if we allow the same security group to allow the RDP as well, can we use the existing security group?
Yeah, you need to add a rule which will say RDP.
Yeah.
Then you can use it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Which AMI we need to select, Srikanth? Windows Server?
Windows 2012 R2 base.
Okay.
Created
Same
Srikanth. It's
type it.
So just go here. So we'll find this.
we can use the same T2 micro, right?
Yeah, T2 micro. Yes, yes.
In configure instance, no need to change anything. We need to
No.
run as it is, right?
Right, right. Keep everything default.
Okay. Add storage also default, right?
Default, default. No changes. Only give a
Okay.
name and select your key.
Okay. Srikanth, what we need to give administrator password?
You have to generate the password. So once you create
Yeah,
it,
we need to. Yeah, the password we need to give, right?
correct.
Okay. Yeah, logged in successfully, Srikanth.
Okay.
Yep, it's created.
Okay. So this is your Windows instance. Okay, now let us see. Now you have your EC2 instance, which is a Windows instance which is running, and you have a 30 GB disk, which is a root disk, right, attached to it. Right? Now, suppose there is a need that you want to attach, say, additional. I'm just taking an example, say 5 GB disk to the existing server. Okay. So suppose there is a requirement that you need additional space, and this disk has to be attached to the running EC2 instance. Okay. So how do you do it in cloud environment? In your data center environment, you follow the change process. So you raise a request, so it will go to the storage person. He will do some changes in the switches and zoning and etc. And finally, he will attach it to your EC2 instance. And then you log in to EC2 instance and create a file system on this. So that is the usual process. So when you work on cloud, you are basically everybody with little bit of knowledge of storage and other parts. You can easily manage these things. So that is a good part when you work on cloud. Okay? So let us see how do we do it. So what we can do, we can create a EBS volume of 5 GB, and we can attach it to the running instance. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind that if your instance is running, say, in US East, say 1A, that is the availability zone, then you need to create the volume also in the same availability zone. Otherwise, it will not be visible. Okay, because why there is a limitation? Because what is the availability zone? Availability zone is a data center. So naturally, this volume has to be created in the same data center. Then only it can access it. So when you create it, make sure that you are putting it in the same availability zone as that of EC2 instance. So let us first note down the respective availability zones. So let me just search for. So this is my instance, and currently my instance is running in 1E. Okay. So on the left hand side, if you go to this Elastic Block Store, you can go to volumes. And I will, now you will see what you see here are root volumes. So if you see here, they are denoted by the server name. So whatever EC2 instance name you are given, the same name is attached to the root instance. Okay. So please make sure that you don't create 100 GB and all. So I think somebody has created 100 GB. So create a new volume of 5 GB because there is a lot of billing coming to me. So please keep this in mind. This is for demo purposes. So use 5 GB. So this is the volume type. Now here, if you see, earlier we have seen the SSD type, provisioned IOPS types, and magnetic standard type. There are two additional ones for non-root volumes. For root volumes only, general purpose provisioned and magnetic. So these are two additional cold SDD. This means the hard disk and throughput optimized SDD. These are two additional things which are available. So we are going to select general purpose SSD and 5 GB, and availability zone. I'm going to select 1E because my EC2 instance is running in 1E.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 399 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Don't bother about snapshot ID. Give a name so that you can identify your volume. So I will just say Srikanth bin wall 1, and let me create it. Is this process clear? So just mention 5 GB, select the proper availability zone. So first note down your EC2 instance availability zone. Same availability zone you need to select here, and then create a one. So now you can search. So this new volume is created. We can't win volume 1, and it is available. So it is not in use yet. It is not attached to anything. So just select it, go to actions, touch it. So if you click here, you will see all those EC2 instances. Select your one and attach it. Okay. So I am attaching this to a running instance. So let me go back here to my Windows instance, and I will just click the start button. So I will have this this thing, start options. So let me go to administrative rules. Then I will go to computer management. Click that. And let me go to the under storage to disk management. So I'll see this new disk 5 GB, which is currently offline. So this portion and then the whole 5 GB disk. So I will just right click this, and I will make it online. So this is currently not initialized, it is not formatted. So I'll just go ahead and initialize the disk. So it will ask me for the type of partition I want to create. I will just go ahead with defaults. So this is formatted now. The partition information is written. Now I'll come to this 5 GB portion, right click it, and I will create a new simple volume. We'll come to new volume. I'll just go by defaults. So I will assign this the drive letter D, and the type of file system I am creating is NTFS, and finish. So this is my D drive that got generated. I created this and attached this, formatted. Okay, so this is how to a running instance you can attach the additional disk. So can you complete this exercise?
Yeah, okay.
Volume type, which one we have to select? Actually, it's non-root, right?
Non-root.
No, volume type, it's non-root.
Volume
Derivative.
general purpose SSD. General purpose SSD.
Okay, by what is the use of this cold HDD and magnetic?
They are used for different purpose. There are certain loads which are related to analytics. For that, they have made those options. So it has got some different performance criteria in terms of
Okay,
IOPS.
thank you. Okay, not thank you.
Srikanth, snapshot ID not required, right?
No, not required.
What is the snapshot ID? What is use of that?
I will discuss snapshots that time. I will tell you.
Okay, okay, sure. And if I choose encryption, will they charge more or what?
Yes. Yes.
Srikanth, what is the advantage if we are allowed to choose between different availability zone?
Is the advantage.
Yeah, yes, because
No,
when we are
there is,
adding a volume, we have the
uh,
option to select the availability zone, right?
yeah, it has to be in the same.
Instance.
So that is not an advantage. This is actually a limitation, because see, the availability zone is nothing but a data center, and your EC2 instances is running in one data center. So the volume has to be in the same data center.
Yeah, but while adding a volume, it gives the option to select the availability zone, right?
That is right, but because see, volume is a separate entity, so you can create it in any availability zone. Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
If you need to, yeah. Okay. So everybody is able to create ABS and attach.
So computer management, how we can.
Yeah, go to computer management. So from here, let me just show you this. Okay. So here you go to computer management. Once you go to taskbar, administrative tools, computer management, then you go to disk management. So you will see this disk. First, on the left side, you right click and make it online. Once this is offline, then make it online, and then format it. So right click and initialize, and then you come here and then create a new volume. Okay, fine. So let me so that is how the volumes can be attached. Now, attaching this additional volume, this facility is not available for ephemeral storage or instance volume. Why? What is the reason? Because it is behaving as a directly attached disk. So
Can
that is
you
available.
please, hello?
Repeat.
Ashikant, can you please show that it's online, but then what we have to do? So initialization disk I selected and I selected as it's MBR.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
And
then it's not saying anything.
no, go to the next block. Right click and then say create a new volume.
No, it's not showing anything. Like I selected as MBR.
No, here you selected and initialize, right? Now
Yeah.
come here, come to the next block and right click
Got it.
and create new volume.
So after making it online, it should turn blue, right?
Yes. No, after creating a drive.
Okay,
Done.
so I think I missed that.
Done from my side.
How to can you just show that, like creating the drive?
Now I can't do that. Delete volume. Let me try. Okay. Now this is how it looks like, right?
Yeah.
This is how it looks like. So right click, new simple volume.
Okay,
Delete that.
let me check. Right click. Okay, for me it is not enabled.
No, first have you
Does it?
made it online? Have you initialized it?
Yeah.
And this is not enabled.
Okay, after online we need to do MBR and
Initialize.
initialize. Okay.
Correct. Unless the partition table is written, no, it will not recognize it.
Okay.
Can you give small description about what's the GTP and GPT and MBR?
No, those let us not go into it. Those are the partition types
Okay,
for
okay.
Windows.
Just I want to know.
MBR is the
So,
old one. This is for the larger disks.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So to expand the existing volume, the same process, Srikanth?
Yeah. So I'll show you. So,
Okay.
So suppose this is my D volume, and now the question has been asked how to expand it, right? So let's see how to expand this. So let me go to my volume, and this is my volume, which is 5 GB. Now I will go ahead and modify the volume. So I will make it 10 GB and modify. So let's modify this. Let me go back here. So here I am. So I'll just do, we'll have to rescan it because Windows doesn't know the new. Okay, so this is the additional space that has been allotted because what I did is 5 GB, I made it 10 GB. So it's an extension. So here, if I now right click, I can do extend volume and it will be extended. So this will give me this additional 5 GB, and it will make it as 10 GB. Okay, this is how you can extend it. Similar thing, you can also extend the root, that is C drive also. It is possible. Okay. Yeah, any other question?
So for Linux fixed OS, we need not do any other activities other than just attaching the volume, right?
Linux also you can do same thing. So when you create a Linux instance, you'll have to create a file system with the mkfs command, mkfs -t and ext4 or whatever type, and then mount it.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, on Windows it is GUI. In Linux it will be commands you need to do. So I'll just write down those more. Once you attach the disk, what you can do is mkfs and -t. You can give the file system type, what file system type you want to make it, and followed by the device name. So in case of Linux, it will be a device name. So xvdf will usually be the device name, and then it will create it. Okay, and then you mount it. So create one mount point, maybe mkdir. Now this is everything small. The word is making it capital. mkdir say temp1 from some mount point, and then you mount it. Mount // xvdf on tmp1. This is how you will do it. Okay, so Windows it is easy. It's a GUI, so you can just click it. Otherwise, you in the Linux, if you're running with GUI, you can do that, or otherwise give commands mkfs and then create a mount point and mount. Okay. Fine. So I think hopefully
What
everybody
was that
has. Which one? This one?
What
Can
was
you
that ext4?
ping us in the chat? Yeah.
mkfs -t. Yeah.
mkfs is make file system command, and there are various file system types. So in Windows it is NTFS. Similarly in Linux it is ext4, ext3, ext2. There are various types of file systems. So that type is there, and the device name. Okay. So actually this, when you create a volume, so here if you see, now this is my volume. Let me just show you this. It's for demo purpose, I will show you. Suppose if I create 5 GB and I name it. Let me just put it in the same design, create. So Win2, if I select, then I say attach, and when I say this one, it gives me this device name, XVDG. First was XVDF. This is the second device, so it is giving me XVDG name. So in Linux, what happens is every device has got a device name. Since the Amazon is working on Zen, which is basically working on Linux. That is why whatever volume you create, it will give you a device name. The same device name you can use it in Linux when you attach it to EC2 instance. But in case of Windows, we don't use this because the mounting is little different. But underlying Zen is Linux based. That is why you are getting this device name all the time. Okay. So when I refer to Linux, this is the device name you need to give. XVDF, XVDG, whatever. Fine. So that is about volume. Now let us understand another concept, and that is a snapshot. So if I have a EBS volume, and now I want to take a backup of this. So I can do it in terms of snapshot. So snapshot will be a point in time copy, exact copy of this EBS volume. But the difference here is the snapshot is stored in S3 type of storage, which is a simple storage service. So it is S3 or a file storage. So it is kept in that format. Okay. So I can create a EBS volume. So suppose this is attached to one EC2 instance. And now I want to back this up. So I can create a snapshot. It will go to S3, which is a very reliable storage. Now remember, this snapshot cannot be directly attached to a EC2 instance. What you need to do is convert it back to EBS volume and then attach it. Okay. So remember, this snapshot is kept in different type of storage altogether. This is not a EBS storage. Okay? This is a S3 storage.
Shrikant, it looks like your
What are
voice
the
is
use
echoing.
cases?
We're getting echo. We are getting echo of
I
your
think
voice. Can
somebody
you
has.
please mute?
No, somebody else has not kept it on loudspeaker. So kindly go on mute, please.
Yeah, you can mute
Yeah.
from your side. You are the host, right? You can mute for all.
Yeah, yeah, I can do that. Yes. Okay, fine. So yeah, so this is the concept of a snapshot. So let us see what are the use cases. One is taking backup. Now suppose there is a scenario that you have a EC2 instance. You have a EBS volume. Now this is running in say US East East 1E, and I have a server which is in US East 1B. Now I want to copy this data to 1B. So I cannot detach this volume and attach it here because they are in two different availability zones. So what I can do, I can create a snapshot. And from the snapshot, I can create a volume. So when I create a volume from a snapshot, I have a flexibility of creating it in any availability zone. So I will create it in 1B and I can attach it. Okay. So this is one scenario of taking the backup and attaching it to by converting it to EBS. Also, if you have a snapshot in one region, I can copy that to another region. So suppose I have this in North Virginia region, I can copy it to Ohio region. Okay. So what is the advantage? Little bit, it's not a very sophisticated way of doing it, but what you're doing it is basically you are creating a storage DR in another region. So if suppose North Virginia region goes down, you at least have a copy in another region, right? So this is how the snapshots are used. So I'll just show you how to create a snapshot. So suppose this is my Win2 is my volume. So this is available, not this. Say, let me search for attach volume. So this is my volume, and I can create a snapshot. So I'll create a snapshot, and let me say description.
So like if you create any file, that will be helpful to us. First of all, create one file inside that. Then we'll get to know clearly. So in the
which file?
In this volume, no, for example, if you created on that volume one file, that time we can verify that.
Yeah. Okay, fine. You want me to create here? Okay.
Understand what is a snapshot? The same replicability we are getting, right?
Yeah, right. Okay, so I will store it. Save as. So I will store it on D drive. Okay. And I will store it as test. Fine. So this is D drive. Check once again. So this is my file. Now let me create a snapshot. So that's my screen. Okay. So this is my volume 1, and I think I have created already. So create a snapshot. And did I create it? Let me just check that one.
We haven't created.
No, I have not created. Okay. Right. So let me just move on and create a snapshot. Right. So let me just. So this is the snapshot getting created. Let's wait for a couple of minutes.
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.